Tonight, we dive into a world where cryptids exist, shrouded in mystery and fear. 8 investigators are on the trail of 8 legendary creatures, each with their own deadly secrets. But can they uncover the truth before becoming prey themselves? In this game of survival, nothing is certain except the thrill of the chase. Welcome to the Drama Does TTRPG 2024 Halloween Special. The Cryptid Chronicles, where the unknown lurks in every shadow, and the hunt for the truth is as dangerous as the creatures themselves. This episode's encounter is the Technohaze, a creature born of static and wires, more phantom than physical. Stay tuned as we unravel the story, and the hunt begins with special guest Tofuboi.
We're here to play another round of OK Cryptid, and I am joined with Tofuboi. Say hi.
G'day, hello.
Tell them a little bit about yourself.
Wait, you're talking about me, right? Me as in
Yeah, you as the person.
I was going to say, hang on a minute, sorry. I had to think for a second because I was staring at my character sheet.
He's so ready to introduce his character. He's so
I almost
excited.
did that, and I'm so ready, guys. So ready. Yes, I am a streamer. I am a YouTuber on Twitch. I play all sorts of games and do that kind of thing. That's pretty much it.
He's prepared his character to the T, but he didn't prepare to talk about himself.
Throwing curveballs already from minute 1. Come on.
I know, right? Oh, I love it. Okay, well, seeing as you would like to jump in, tell us about your character. Which you can read your character from your character sheet.
There's a lot to read.
I know. Very in depth.
Yes. Well, my name is Alexander Harrison. I am age 31 from Palo Alto. I go by he, him. And I'm pretty tall at 6'1". I'm a Pisces. I am male, straight, who speaks English, doesn't smoke, but drinks a nice whiskey. About me specifically, I'm very heavy into technology. I'm a systems administrator for various large companies across Silicon Valley. Really love my job, and I love to set little challenges for myself. It's how I keep myself active.
Like what? Do tell.
Well, I like to see how fast I can solve a particular problem, or if there's a challenging issue that has occurred. Like to use the old brain to, figure out a creative way to get around the issue. Actually, yeah, that's about it. I don't think there's anything else.
Yep. Okay, go on.
Although I do have a particular site that I hate working at, because I had some old co-workers one time, and they kept saying it was haunted.
Say it ain't so.
I know. I thought they were a bit crazy, so didn't really think about it too much at the time. But
what's the site called? Where is it?
The site.
Who are you working for?
Who am I working for? Well, that's classified.
I mean,
it is a government site. That's as much as I can say. I cannot say any more. At least for now.
What's your favorite quote there then?
My favourite quote, it was a quote by the late Steve Jobs called, "Remembering that you are going to die is the best way I know to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose. You're already naked, so there's no reason not to follow your heart."
Did he actually say that?
Yes, he did. That is a legit quote.
I'll confirm that with my husband, who idolizes Steve Jobs.
He was an interesting character, trust me.
He was. Alrighty, what are 3 things you can't do without?
Oh, well, I'm your classic nerd, so I can't live without my PC or my laptop, depending on where I am. I always got to have the internet. But my number one thing that I never leave home without is my multi-purpose screwdriver.
What's on that screwdriver?
Well, you've got a Phillips head, a flathead, you've got a little pocket knife built into it. It's very multi-purpose. There's even some pliers and some scissors. It's like a Swiss Army knife of screwdrivers and other bits and pieces.
Allen keys, that weird fucking screwdriver for those Apple MacBooks that are stupid.
The Torx bit, yes, the Torx. Yeah, and also some Allen keys as well. It's a very hefty item. It's not a small screwdriver, but it does happen to fit in my pocket.
Okay, all right. And the first thing people notice about you?
The fact that I have an answer for everything.
Oh boy, you're a bit of a smartass.
Bit of a smartass, yeah. And very quick to provide the answer no matter what the situation is. So sometimes I do tend to barge myself in a little bit into conversations and essentially mansplain shit to people.
Oh boy.
And I've got this scar above my right eye, but we don't talk about that.
Don't we? Why not? Why don't we talk about it?
It's just something, it's a bit of a dark secret,
Oh, okay.
I don't really want to talk about it.
Alright. We'll see then, I guess. We'll see. Alrighty. Your cryptid is the Technohaze.
Ooh.
He was actually one of the first ones I came up with in the roster of cryptids that we are meeting throughout this series. So I will start by reading the little intro thing that I had done up, and we'll set the scene and get ready to meet the Technohaze. Are you cuddling or are you kissing the Technohaze?
Ooh.
Alexander.
I'm feeling a little bit adventurous today, so I think we'll go with kiss.
Okay, all right. Let's make out with the Technohaze. Love it.
Why
Okay.
not?
I mean, why not? You only live once,
That's right.
and you don't have a fear of dying.
That's right. There's no reason not to follow my heart. Thanks, Steve Jobs.
Alrighty. So in the dimly lit corridors of the sprawling server farm, the air hums with a constant drone of machinery and the occasional flicker of malfunctioning lights. You, working late into the night, are haunted by strange occurrences. Cryptid messages appearing on screens, unexplained data corruptions, and an eerie sense of being watched. The temperature drops suddenly, cold spots forming out of nowhere, as if an unseen presence lurks beyond sight. Shadows dance on the walls, and a whisper of laughter echoes through the intercom, hinting at a malevolent force hidden within the digital realm. You've heard your co-workers talk about it, but chalked it up to hazing or scaring newbies. There's no way there's a creature called the Technohaze. If the microphone music. So, Alexander, you are at this government facility, and you don't like working here. All the people are a little stuck up and snobby. Once you get classified clearance to a place, everyone seems to have a massive ego. You don't really have many friends here, and you don't really have many people that you talk to. Everyone just kind of does their job or boasts about doing their job, but you don't really actually see them doing their job. But you have been summoned to work late again at this facility. They said something about being short-staffed, which is weird because when you first started here, there were a few people. There was quite a lot of you on this team, but it just seems like you keep being pulled in for more and more shifts. It's not a bad thing because, the pay's pretty good, but you're kind of wondering why they're just not hiring more people or, where the fuck these people go. The money's good, so why would they leave? So you are sitting at a desk, plugging away at a computer. Would you have brought your own laptop in with you?
I would have, yes.
You would have. When you don't have very much to do, would you have games on your laptop?
There is the odd game or two. It's a pretty potent machine. It can play some games.
Do you think if you had nothing to do, you'd whip it out and play some? What would be your game of choice?
I would probably play a little bit of Red Dead Redemption.
Ooh. It's out into the wilderness on horseback. You're playing the cowboy game. You're on your majestic steed named
Athena.
Oh, Athena. Right, badass in the arena. Okay, so you are atop Athena and you are riding through the wilderness. Like you said, you don't get out very much, so this is the best chance you have at seeing grass, let alone touching it in a digital way. And as you do, one of your co-workers walks past, or two of them, Joe and Phil, and they kind of like wave at you and they're like, "Mate, we're out. You got the server tonight, right?"
Yep, all good. Not a problem. Probably won't be here too long. Seems like a pretty easy fix, so should be good.
And Phil smirks and he goes, "Oh yeah, well, everyone else isn't here, so be careful. Don't meet up with the Technohaze. Watch out for the Technohaze." And then Joe's like, "Yeah, a fine specimen like you, he might be interested."
Don't be stupid, mate. You know it doesn't exist.
Ooh, it doesn't exist. Oh, I mean, mate, how else would you describe all these fucking, servers going down and stuff?
Ah, look. The company just doesn't have the budget. They're buying all this crap hardware. It's horrible.
I mean, you take it up with them, but, if you start hearing voices and stuff, don't say we didn't warn you.
Oh, I'm sure I'll let you know if I hear any weird voices.
Well, that's how fucking Jim used to be. And, well, haven't seen Jim around for a while, have you? Have you, Joe? Nope, haven't seen him.
Huh. Yeah, now that you think about it, he hasn't been around much, eh?
No, because the Technohaze got him. Haha, and they run away.
Oh, funny. Catch us later.
Okay, so the hours start to tick. It feels like you're basically just in a cement brick when it comes to sitting in this office. It's kind of why you don't like being here. Just as soon as there's no sound, there is absolutely no sound. It just feels suffocating. Like all the walls are kind of pushing in on you. That's why you have your game, and that's why you have your game turned up. All of a sudden, however, the lights start to flicker. And you're kind of like, okay, well, it happens sometimes, I guess. Someone must have, in another section of the building, must have turned something on and overloaded the system and it's just had a little bit of a woo kind of thing. You're kind of like, all right, whatever. But then on the monitor next to you, which is your work monitor, you get the error message. One of the servers in the server farm downstairs has failed. And you need to go fix it.
Gotta be kidding me.
So you need to go and fix a server in the server farm that is broken.
Yep.
What do?
I close the game on the laptop and take it with me and proceed to go down the stairs.
Are there a lot of stairs, do you reckon?
It's a pretty long way down. Given that it's a government facility, it's got to be pretty far underground. So there's at least 3 flights of stairs before I even reach the room.
Oh boy. And what are you thinking as you're going down these stairs?
I really wish the company would just buy better gear because this is ridiculous.
Okay. So you are at the door of the server farm. Do you reckon it's got a security lock on it?
It most certainly does have a swipe and pin pad security lock.
Okay. As you approach the door, you find it to be open. And that's not usual.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not good.
I mean, maybe someone else is around and they just kind of went in to fix it before. They've seen the error as well, and maybe there's someone else down here.
Yeah, well, I swear I was the only one on tonight. Very strange.
Do you go in anyway? Do you call out? What's the plan, Stan?
I'm going to call out and just be like, "Hey, anyone in there? Shouldn't be."
You hear nothing but the hum of machines.
Huh. Alright, well, I'll make sure to report that to the relevant people later on because this should be closed. And I'll make my way in.
You close the door behind you?
Yes.
Okay. Alrighty. Let's go for our first First prompt, shall we? Okay. So the chariot. So you work with an outside entity or organization who also has an interest in this creature. Is this collaboration tense or is it friendly? And what do both parties gain from this collaboration?
So, as I walk through the door, I just I just kind of drop my shoulders down and just kind of take a deep breath and go, all right, I guess it's time to find out what's going on here. Like I already know about this Technohaze and why I've been sent here. Because we've now determined by the government agency that I actually work for that this is the last known sighting or reported sighting of where the Technohaze might be located. So the agency that I happen to work for wants to use it as a weapon. Now, I personally don't agree with that, but I'm here on a job and I've got a job to do.
Okay, I like that. So, what? Okay, so you have differing feelings about the intentions of what this mission is for you. Do you have like a good relationship with this agency that you work for, or do they maybe have something over you to make you do this? What is the positive outcome for you if you were to complete this task?
So, what I've kind of kept to myself is the fact that I have a bit of a target on my back. Did some pretty shady stuff, which is why I was targeted by this organization. I'm actually quite proficient in hacking and did some crimes in my past. So the fact that they have a target on my back that if I don't do as they say effectively, they have pretty much blackmailed me to the point where I may not exist anymore. I will disappear.
Dear. Naughty, naughty boy.
Mm.
So as you sort of take in the rows and rows of server farms in front of you, you get a phone call. And normally, being so far down, the phones normally wouldn't work. However, it's from your boss. And you know that this agency has technology that is far more advanced than what is commonly available. So if they're calling you, if they need to reach you, you know they can, no matter where you are. Do you answer the phone?
I answer the phone with a hello.
Have you got it yet?
I'm in the area. I'm about to begin investigating and finding out what's going on.
You're only beginning now. We sent you in 3 weeks ago.
It hasn't shown itself yet. I haven't been able to get an opportunity.
It sounds like you're fucking taking your sweet ass time, aren't you? The clock is ticking, Harrison.
I'll have it done tonight. I promise.
Well, I don't know, man. Do we need to send someone else in to, hurry you along?
No, that will not be necessary.
I don't know about that. Alright. To convince the person on the phone not to send backup, I would like you to make a roll. Pick one of your stats, please.
I guess this will be charming, actually.
Alrighty, roll your dice.
Let's see if I get this right on the first try.
Okay, so unfortunately, you you failed the charming roll. Let's see. So, I don't know, mate. I think you're taking way too long. We'll send a squad down. They'll be there in about 5 hours. So see if you can get it done before they come, because if they do, it's your head, mate.
I just hang up the phone. Gotta be kidding me.
No pressure. All right, as you hang up the phone, you start to feel a shift in the air. It becomes more electric. Your hairs start to rise on the back of your neck and on your arms. The energy in the room is quite violent. The Technohaze isn't happy that an invasive piece of tech has been able to penetrate its hiding place. That phone call has really upset the Technohaze. So I'll need you to add a +1 to your kill me score.
Got it.
So you're at +1 kill me. Because your Technohaze is unhappy. Alrighty. So, how do you feel about it there, then?
I can feel that something doesn't sit right, especially with the phone call that I just had. Definitely feeling a little bit on edge, and now that I've starting to feel this electrifying air, I feel like something. I'm feeling doubt. I'm like, oh, can I really do this?
Mhm.
Can I complete my mission in time? Also, a little bit of fear.
It's okay, you just pee yourself a little bit.
Yeah, just a little.
It's okay. Alrighty. So that's your first scene down. Okay. How you feeling? You doing okay?
Good. Yep. Good.
Good. Okay. I know the story took a turn pretty fucking quickly.
Look, expect the unexpected.
Exactly.
I'm good.
Expect the unexpected.
We're
Alrighty.
good.
So, scene 2. We have Judgment. Okay, Judgment. It is time to reflect. This whole time, you've believed that your intentions towards the creature were pure and healthy, unlike others who have searched for them before. Is that true? Be honest. Think about the investigation up to this point, and look at your path, and really see yourself. So, despite being contracted or blackmailed by this agency, when you started hearing about the Technohaze and creatures like it, it started to fascinate you. The fact that there was an amalgamation of sentient creature plus technology. What would Alexander think about that? As in, if he ever got to meet one, what would they do? Did they have they know that the agency wants them for a weapon, but if all, the stars aligned, what would Alexander do if they met the creature?
If I was able to meet the Technohaze, given what I know and what the agency wants to do with the Technohaze, I think I'd want to protect it and preserve it, because I appreciate technology for what it is, and deep down I don't desire technology to be used in a malicious way. So I would want to try and either shield it from those who wish to seek it for bad, and really try my best to hide it away somewhere where no one can find it, not even the biggest government agencies in the world.
So would that be your goal now?
Yes.
Okay. How would you make that happen? What's the plan?
First, I would have to get an understanding of how the Technohaze works.
Okay.
Try and talk to it and understand what its needs are, and try and figure out a way to transport it to a place where it can be safe to do what it wants to do.
Mm. Okay, so you're in this server farm that's rows and rows of shelves, rows and rows of lights. These are diode lights, of course. The lights in the ceiling aren't. There's a couple. There's supposed to be like those overhanging like clamshell lamp things, but only a few work in various spots. And it looks like the server farm's towers go for miles. So you don't have full visibility on anything. You can see that there's like a light on the far right. There's one that's like 8 rows back. So what do you do?
I start to move down the main row of the room,
Mm-hmm.
looking from left to right down the various rows that I pass, in
Mm-hmm.
search for the server that is quote unquote down.
Mm-hmm. How would you determine where it would be? Is there a map, or is there something that's telling you? How would you know where to look?
There would be a map on the closest wall to the first row. So I would shift over to check that first.
Okay.
Before continuing.
So you look at would you have to like light it up yourself? Do you reckon like you have to get your phone out and like shine a torch on it, or do you reckon it'd be illuminated?
It would be illuminated.
Okay. So you look at this map and it's got lines that represent the rows, so going like horizontal and vertical, so like you get like little rectangles of where the servers are, and you in those rectangles are little diodes, and obviously green diodes are good, red diodes are bad, the ones that have gotten down. How it works, I don't know, but it does. Because this is my world and I can do whatever the fuck I want. So you're scanning the map to find a little red diode and sort of map your route. As you do, you use your finger to kind of like map your route, and while you're doing that, you're noticing as your fingers are passing by other servers, they go red. It's like a little, like as you swipe your finger across to plan your route, all the servers on either side of your fingers go red, and then they go green as your fingers finish passing by the servers. That's not normal. It's not a touch screen. And what would you do? Would you just investigate a little bit? Would you like play with it? What would be your reaction to seeing something like that?
That is very strange. I
Mhm.
would start tracing my finger a different way to see if the lights would continue to change. Almost using it like a
Yeah.
drawing tablet and just start, like, maybe even just do a circle. Just kind of be like, what's going on here? This is really odd.
Yeah. So for a little bit, the lights keep up with your finger, but then as you kind of keep tracing it, trying to figure out what's going on, the lights sort of slow down, and it's almost like it's chasing your finger. And then in the diodes, it kind of like tries to make like a little Pac-Man shape in the lights, or you get to see this like sea of like two diodes here, and it's like chasing your finger.
I slow my finger down as I notice the shape forming behind it with the diodes. And I just look in fascination at what is going on in front of me right now. Because this is not normal.
So the diodes are chasing your finger. Do you slow down or do you speed up, or?
I slow down just enough for them to almost catch me, and then I shift my finger very quickly away. almost as if I think it's actually going to bite my finger, and I pull it back from the screen.
So as you pull away quickly, it goes to try and charge at your finger, but as you take it off the screen, the lights disappear for a second and then reappear as a sad face. So you get the diodes that are like 1, 2, 3 for the eyes, and then it makes like a rectangular frowny face.
Oh.
And then it kind of when the frowny face goes away, the only diode that is left on the board that is red is the broken one.
I kind of frown a little. Oh. Was this thing trying to play a game with me? Huh. I map out where I need to go with my eyes. Because I'm a little reluctant to touch the screen again.
Mm-hmm.
And once I've found my path, I begin walking down the hallway or down the pathway towards it.
Okay. So as you go past rows and rows of shelves, the electric air, the static air around you kind of feels stronger. Like you really start to feel your hair standing on end. And then as you get in deeper, you suddenly trip. And you look down and there's a cable holder just loose on the floor. And as you fix yourself to get up, it disappears. It looks like it slithers away. And then as you look in front of you, you see that there's more on the floor. And cables aren't really meant to be on the floor now, are they?
No.
What do you do?
I look at the cable holders that are currently on the floor to see if they make a particular like a path or like a route. Like is I think to myself, is this trying to lure me in this direction? So I get more curious and I want to follow these cable ties and cable holders.
Okay. Well, you're curious.
I'll keep on. See if I do it right the second time.
From what you observe from the cables, they're not leading anywhere that you realize. They kind of just, to you, look like they're in the way. Because you failed your curious roll, sorry, let me see what you get. Okay, I don't think there's any consequences to failing a curious roll, which is fine. Yay. No extra consequences.
Yay!
Yay! So, yeah, so you just look at, you kind of just see that they're just cables on the ground and they're kind of just, to you, they're just in the way. They don't seem to be leading anywhere. What do you do?
Definitely odd. They should definitely not be there. I'm gonna ponder for a minute.
Yep.
Are the cables just on the floor, or do they actually lead, or not lead anywhere, but like are they kind of just like coiled up on the floor kind of deal, or would they be sprawled out, but they lead like they could lead back into like the cabinets or something? Like, I'm just trying to...
I mean, they're kind of sprawled all over the floor. Like, it looks like they were designed to trip you.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to continue towards the broken server.
You find that your path is blocked by a pile of cables.
Of course it is.
I mean, it's just the route. It's just the just in front of you.
Yeah.
Really. Like it's.
Let's try and find an alternative route to get around.
How are you going to do that?
We would.
Because you used your curious.
Yeah, that's a good point. Let's try and move the cables out of the way.
Okay. Roll deft. And it's a good one. Should be a good one. It's 3 dice.
What should be a 3?
All ones. I love it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, a 10. You got a success with a bonus.
No, about time.
Yay. Okay. So you kind of like pick up the cables and you kind of move it out of the way, and you kind of, as you move them, you just watch the cables just slither away into the darkness. What reward would you like for completely succeeding in that one? Let me see. Well, actually, before we discuss that, you have a success in a deft roll, so you get to draw a card from the clue deck and add it to your hand, representing a possible gift. This you've got the 9 of candles. That's one. So this one is a creative gift, such as a poem, music, or art. So keep that in mind as to what you might want to offer the creature when we go to the meat creep section. So what other reward would you like? Because you've got a 10. I will offer you another. You can either take another clue card, or you can choose one of the likes and dislikes to turn over, so you have an idea on what your goal cards should be for when you offer the gift of to the creature. Or I'll give you a +1 for the next roll that you have to do. Which one would you like?
Let's go a like dislike card.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, or 4.
Lucky number 4.
4. Alrighty, let's see what we got. Ooh, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got the 6 of candles. So the 6 of candles is how it is quite fond of the creative gifts. Quite fond. However, your clue card is unfortunately a 9, so that might not be helpful to you.
No.
So,
but it's good to know.
That's fine. That's good to know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so like I said, as you hoist the cables away, they kind of just slither off into the darkness. What do you do next?
I take a slight step backwards because I didn't expect the cables to be sentient and just slither out of my hands.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a little bit shocked, but I shrug it off pretty quickly and I proceed to move forward past the blockage.
Okay.
What that once was.
That once was. All right. Would you like another scene prompt?
Sure.
Alrighty. You get the Wheel of Fortune. Okay. So the creature seems to be going through some sort of intense transformation. Do they change in a physical form or their behavior? How did you learn of this change? And does this have any effect on your feelings for them? So far, you've seen from the Technohaze its ability to influence pieces of tech. And you've obviously seen the sentient cables as well. So, you have gone, so you've traveled down the rows and rows of server stacks, and you get to the one that is failed. I'm going to need your tech knowledge here. How do you fix a failed server?
The first thing you would have to do is find the terminal that is associated with it. If there is no terminal, you would use the laptop, which is why I bought the laptop.
Mm-hmm. So your intentions here, one, you have an agency that has demanded that you somehow bring out this Technohaze for it to be captured and used as a weapon. However, your personal intentions are to maybe save it.
Mm-hmm.
So in this instance, what could you do, or what would be the plan given this failed server? What could you do to help your goal? You did say that you wanted to be able to take the creature and take it out of this facility to be able to relocate it to somewhere where it's safe.
Yes. And the laptop would have been the perfect point for that.
I mean,
Wow, that was my thought pattern.
I mean, it's still an option.
Yeah. I would locate the terminal that is closest to the failed server and turn it on to begin the diagnosing why it failed.
Okay. So would you... Okay, so roll me a curious then. Because you're curious as to know why it failed.
Yeah. Found me now. Fuck.
Okay, so you failed a curious roll, which doesn't have any extra consequences. However, you go and you plugged your laptop in, correct?
No, this is just the terminal that's already built into the rack. So
Okay.
I haven't used the laptop yet.
Okay. So again, describe to me what you're doing.
Um,
What you want to do, should I say?
Okay, so I have approached the terminal that is built in to the rack next to the server that has failed, and I am attempting to connect to the server to find out what is actually wrong with it.
And how do you connect to the server? Like, what do you do?
There will be a login prompt on the screen, and you will attempt to log in to run a diagnostic program.
So unfortunately, you obviously don't succeed at that, and there is a significant consequence. The password that you're pretty sure you were told would work for this particular server. And then you get the error message. And so you try to put it again. And then you get another error message. You try another password from the list of passwords you have in your brain. You still get an error message. Then you start using capitals and numbers and exclamation points and stuff, and the error message flashes one too many times, and the server, all the servers in that rack are dead. And you suddenly hear a thwap beside you, like a bunch of cables hitting the floor. And as you look over to them, they're not moving anymore. They're not moving. There's no movement in them that you would have expected because you've been seeing cables moving all night. And that electric air you were feeling feels a little less now. How do you feel about that?
Well, first of all, I take a step back and I look across all the servers that are now suddenly basically off. And then back down to the cables. And I just whisper to myself, that's not good.
You start to hear like a hissing, and it sounds distant. It's a hissing more like a wind was blowing. If the wind had picked up sand or dust and was dragging it very lightly along metal. It seems like it's coming from quite a distance away. So okay, so a server's failed. A server's dead. What would be the normal code of practice to fix it? Being like a government agency, obviously, whatever was in these servers was really fucking important. And I guess the least you could do was see if you could get it back up and running. Whether the data in it is corrupted or not, you don't know. So what would be the plan there? What would you have to do?
Well, if it was one server, you would, in theory, replace it with another one, and then restore a backup if it exists. But that's not a small task. That's a fairly intense task. You would have to, I mean, speaking from real life experience here, you would have to obtain the server, remove the old one, install it, and then do it again. Like if we're actually going like a full proper real life scenario.
I mean, would there maybe be a room in the server farm area that has spares?
Yes, there would. You in that kind of scenario, in kind of environment, absolutely.
Okay.
I need to replace this pretty quickly. I turn towards where the backup servers are kept and move quickly because move quickly towards the room that has the spare servers in to replace it. I would head towards the wall and skirt the wall to go towards the door.
Okay. So the cables that are now on the floor are not going to move out of your way. So in the dim light, I'm going to get you to roll def to make sure you don't trip.
3. I have, okay.
Ooh, nice. Good job. All right, you succeed. And it was deft as well, so let's get your reward first before we talk about what you did. So you can draw another card from the clue deck and add it to your potential gifts. Oh, you have the Queen of Candles.
Oh, okay.
Again, a high one though. So.
Oh, that's right. It's the wrong way around. Yeah.
Wrong way around. Yeah, I know. That's an interesting mechanic. Oh, you're not doing too well on the gift giving, buddy, unfortunately. But, so hopefully something will come up. Okay, so you vault over these cables effortlessly. I guess the tenseness of the situation and the consequences at hand have given you a bit of a spring in your step, if you will. You hear the hissing getting closer, chasing after you almost. And as it gets closer, you start to hear more. It's much less a hissing, more like a tapping on metal. What do you do?
How close to this room would I be at this point?
You tell me.
Okay.
You succeeded, so I'd say pretty close.
Given that I'm pretty close to the door, I'm going to approach the door as quickly as I can and attempt to open it.
It's open.
It is open already, cool. And yeah, I'll rush inside and I will close the door.
When it comes to choosing servers for a server rack, are they all universal or are they like specific ones? Can there be specific ones that you will need?
There would be different sizes and shapes and all sorts of things.
Okay, roll me curious to find out if you can find the right one.
Okay.
You can't remember what size the server you needed was.
Well, shit. I'd only have capacity to take one with me. Well,
are they heavy?
They're heavy.
Okay.
They usually require 2 people, so I'm going to hope to be able to do it on my own.
I'm going to be a nice and gracious DM, even though you did fail. You suffered no ill consequences, but there is a cart in the room.
Actually, that
like
would
a
be
trolley.
That would be logical. Actually, there would be a cart probably in a room like that. Now thinking about it, yeah.
Yeah, there's a trolley in the room, so you can take 3. Don't say I don't do nothing for you. So what are you going to do?
I'm going to scan the shelves for the 3 servers that I require. A small, a medium, and a large. I feel like I'm very focused right now because I feel like this is the solution. I must fix the server.
Yes.
I actually scan the room to see if there is a second door to leave the backup room.
There's not.
Okay. Well, then I go out the way I came in. Or attempt to, at least.
Okay. And then what? I'll draw another scene card, another prompt card.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, we have justice. Boy. Okay, so for the justice prompt, the creature experiences something which upsets them deeply. To you, the event seems harmless, but it has upset them all the same. What happened? And what does this tell you about the creature's world views versus your own? I think I already touched on this one with the previous scene, but we can get creative and think of another way that was upset.
Well, yeah, that's what I was. That's the first thing that came to mind. Actually, was the fact that when I shut a whole rack down, the whole thing got a little upset. So
yes,
yeah.
Okay, so you've exited the server room.
Mm-hmm.
What's the plan now?
Given that I felt like I was being chased before, I decide to take a different route to almost skirt away from whatever is currently chasing me, or supposedly chasing me.
Okay, so what's the plan? You're going to skirt the outside?
I'm going to cut through the. Yeah, I'm going to move straight from the door because at that point there should be server racks, and head towards the center aisle again, and then go back down that, and basically just do a loop to come back to where I was, in hoping that I can almost do a bit of ring around the rosy of this thing chasing me, or supposedly.
Well, if you thought you were being chased before.
Oh boy.
The metal tapping. As you enter and you go down the center aisle, you hear the tapping behind you. And you turn and you see what looks like a cloud of dust, like a sandstorm would, barreling straight towards you. What do you do?
Yeah, look, I'm just gonna run.
Good.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Yeah. I'm gonna ditch the servers and run.
Okay.
Let's run. Let's do it.
Are you leaving the servers behind?
Yes.
Okay. So you take off as the cart with the server racks is consumed by this dust haze. You can hear crackling and zapping. So you kind of know that if you get caught by this thing, it's probably going to hurt. Just a little bit. I'll need you to roll deft, please, to maneuver through these racks.
Gotcha. Deft found me now.
Okay. So I'm going to say the cost was the server racks. But you succeed in sort of getting ahead of this haze. Get it? Technohaze. As you turn a corner, you suddenly see another cloud of haze, which stops you dead in your tracks, and makes you back up and run in another direction. How are you going to navigate? Where are you trying to navigate to? Are you trying to navigate to the door? Are you trying to navigate out of the center of the farms? Are you trying to navigate back to where you think the dead servers are?
I was actually trying to get back to the front of the server room where the map was. And my reasoning behind it was that I've determined that that map is some sort of communication hub for whatever is in here.
Okay.
So I'm remembering back to it playing Pac-Man with me. So I was trying to get back
exactly
to the map.
what it's doing with you now.
I know.
You're
waka,
the
waka.
You're the Pac-Man.
Waka waka, let's go.
Jesters of Ravenloft is a podcast where a collection of comedians have been sucked into Ravenloft. The best part is, none of them knew it was going to happen. 4 improvisers jump from a warm-up scene straight into a campaign where they have to build each other as characters.
So we're looking at intelligence or strength.
So you're either really weak or really stupid.
At first, they struggle to adjust, but soon they're picking catchphrases.
Looky, looky, I got hooky.
Just quoting Hook.
Facing down nightmare monsters,
There was a man with a horse and flames and flying swords.
not really learning much about where they are.
Inside Ravenloft, there are hundreds and thousands of individual domains. I'm stuck in one of those.
And running into our special celebrity guests.
It's me, Werner Herzog.
Did you rap on the Mandalorian and then get sent to Ravenloft?
Jesters of Ravenloft releases 2 new episodes every Friday, so journey into the mists with us now.
Debtors in Time, an Echoes of Chaos adventure, where debtors are sent back through history to retrieve artifacts for the insatiable Ignatius Thorn. But when Thorn calls upon once trusted Tucker Ridley, son of his greatest foe Ryan's son, and reluctant rebel icon Elena Haynes, the game changes. Tasked with collecting relics from the past, will they succeed, or will their meddling alter the course of history forever? Debtors in Time. Listen now on YouTube and Spotify.
I'll get you to roll curious.
Okay.
And we're going to use that to see if you make it to your goal or not, if you make it out or not.
Okay.
There's a current game of cat and mouse happening where you turn right and there's a ball of haze coming towards you, so you backtrack and you go the left way, and you're able to go left for a few server racks, and you turn right and there's another haze, and so you backtrack, and so there's a lot of this cat and mouse happening. So roll curious to see if you are able to get to where you need to go. Actually, like I said, this cat and mouse is being played where it seems like the haze is jostling you in different directions and you get a little bit turned around. There never seems to be a straight road for long enough where you can determine which wall you're running to. And you start to feel overwhelmed to the point where you just kind of stop. You kind of just stop. You think it's futile. And you just wait for the haze to consume you. However, as you stand there, the haze starts to creep in from the rows around you. It has left one path open, but you're just over it at this stage. And as you stand there, you hear a large zapping noise, and the haze just falls to the ground. No longer animated. As if the creature was upset that you weren't playing with it anymore. How do you feel? What do you do? What does this tell you about the creature's worldview versus your own?
I look around and I see that the haze has just dropped to the ground, and I think to myself for a moment, what? I thought for sure I was a goner, but it's just sitting there.
Also, just to amplify how upset the Technohaze is.
Mm.
All of the lights in the server racks around you go red.
It took me a moment to realize that the lights had gone red. And then I look back down to the haze, and I figure out that it is basically manipulating what is happening. I crouch down towards the level of where the haze is, and I say, well, I try to communicate with it. I basically just say, you know, I'm not trying to hurt you, right? I know that may not seem like it, but I really aren't.
Roll charming.
Come on.
Well, you know what? It's fine, okay? As you're speaking to it, more lights on the surface. But the haze does it disperses, giving you a clear path back to the original server that had gone dead, or to the path out of where you wanted to be, so towards the control panel near the front. So the consequence was more servers are dead.
Because you nuked the ones on the cart. Okay, yeah.
Well, no, I didn't, but now the ones on the cart are dead.
Ah, dang it. Could have got that loophole. Dang
You
it.
could have gotten that loophole. Okay, let me see what you also get for failing your charming. Well, no, you succeeded. Never mind, you didn't fail. But then you might get a reward for succeeding. You succeeded, so you get to draw. Okay, so you either get to draw a card from the clue deck and add it to the meeting spread, or you can slow things down a little by removing a card from the meeting spread. So if you think we're getting too close to you meeting it, we're 2 cards away. I can always take one away. Or you can just get another clue card to see if you can give it a gift. If you would like the game to go longer, we remove the card.
Yeah. Yeah, let's take a card away.
All right. Because we're playing a 6-card game here. As soon as the meeting spread gets to 6 is when we will be meeting our cryptid. Okay. All right. So let's pull another scene prompt and keep going. Okay. We get temperance. Okay. Interesting. Let's see how this goes. You're becoming concerned that your feelings for the creature are one-sided, and that perhaps you've been too subtle. What is some way you can communicate to the creature your intentions and interests, and how can you let them know that you are investigating them for a positive and safe reason? How can you do this without putting yourself in immediate danger of being murdered or exsanguinated?
I felt like I almost started to do that before.
I mean, you tried, but you also
didn't succeed.
Didn't. Well, you succeeded, and
yeah.
it's kind of just having a bit of a tantrum where it's like, fine, if you don't want to play anymore, you can just go do whatever. I was also kidding. It didn't nuke the servers on the cards, so you can go back for them if you like. What is your goal at the moment? Which one are you trying to achieve, and what's going to? Like, this card goes towards more of the fact that you want to let it know that you're trying to save it.
Yeah. Well, I feel like the only way to actually communicate with it without seeing it is via the map board, because that seemed to be what happened. So I'm going to head to the map board.
Okay. The path is clear. You can do that.
Mm-hmm.
And now what's the plan?
Well, I want to take a look at the map board and see if there's anything different than there was before. Anything noticeable.
Roll curious. Oh, wait. Did we already roll curious?
Oh, didn't we just roll that?
We did. We just
Okay, so
rolled curious.
Okay.
So, I mean, you need to do something else before you do that, I guess. Is really what it is.
And the other two don't really work out for that either.
Well, not for that particular thing, but
no, that's what I mean.
What else?
Yeah. All right. Let's open the laptop
Mm-hmm.
and turn it on and see if I can interface with the map board.
Okay. Roll deft. You connect to the interface, and the interface comes up on your laptop screen. However, it blacks in and out because the cable is old and it hasn't ever been replaced, because people don't normally interface with the map unless it is required, and that's a very rare occurrence. So it's blinking in and out on your screen, so you're doing your best to work with it So what's the plan?
I observe the frayed cable and realize, oh, this isn't really going to help. But yeah, so I would locate a server that is still currently running, and I would click on it to bring up an option to open a direct terminal, which would allow me to type commands in.
Mm-hmm.
I know that all of these servers are linked in some fashion.
Mm-hmm.
So I would, I'd open a terminal and I would proceed to run a message broadcast program.
Mm-hmm. What would that say?
And I would send the message of, I know you're here. I really am trying to save you. There are forces here that want to capture you, and I don't want any of that.
Roll charming.
Come on, do me good for a change, eh?
Yeah.
Tell you about it. Come on.
Okay. So your broadcast goes out. However, the cable fails before you can see what response comes back on your laptop. And your laptop goes black. However, when you stand up again to see the interface, or the screen in front of you on the wall, all the servers are green again, except for that one that you saw before.
As I unplug the cable and I see the screen return to normal, I smile with a bit of relief and go and breathe out. I look down the center hall and then start to move towards the cart with the servers on it.
Mm-hmm. And you can.
Yep.
When you get to the cart, though, there's only one server there, and it's the medium-sized one.
I blink a couple of times because I'm a little bit confused now. I'm like, oh, okay. But I take the cart and I take it to where the dead server is in hopes that the medium one is just right.
Right, let's go for another scene, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
The world. Okay. Let's okay. All right. This is okay. All right, let's do it. If you've been playing for several scenes now, talk about how your character has changed since the beginning of the game. If it's early in the game, talk about the stage in life you were, but you left before your pursuit. Who were you before the attention was first drawn to the creature? So, in this instance, I'd like you to muse on what got you here. The agency has many different entities it wished to investigate or capture or whatnot. And you were allowed to choose which one it was, and you chose this one. Why? Why this one? Why the Technohaze?
When I was shown all the different things that the agency was trying to pursue, they gave me a choice. And once I glanced at all of the sheets that were laid in front of me, the Technohaze stood out.
As you walk down the rows again, you're doing a lot of walking in these rows, the little screens on the servers that are usually used to log into them start to light up. And they're not meant to, but they start showing pictures of you. It's almost like someone was following you around with a camera. There are pictures of you entering the building of the agency that you work for. There are pictures of you in your office upstairs. There are pictures of you smiling at your game as you play. There are pictures focusing down on your face and on your scar. And it's almost like the creature is asking who you are. The pictures that you see kind of range from, like, as you walk down, they start off happy, and then they slowly get towards you being sad. The photos that they show that are more recent, that are more abundant, are of you not smiling anymore. It shows a picture of you playing video games, smiling, and then further down you're playing the same video games and you're not smiling anymore. And the creature would like to know why.
Okay. So, as I'm walking down and I spot one of the screens with my face on it, I definitely stop for a second and look at it and go, why are you showing me this? And then I see further up another picture and another picture. And I'm like, are you wanting to know more about me? And I take note that the pictures do range from me feeling happier about a year ago to very recently, where I am definitely not as happy as I used to be. So a year ago, I had what we'll call a partner in crime, and we were married. And she was my one and only, and at least at the time. But unfortunately, about 5 months ago, she was caught by the government for during one of our little escapades on the internet.
As you're saying this, all the screens change to photos of her.
Yes. Yep, that was her.
What does she look like?
She was just a little shorter than me, probably about 5'6", 5'7". Blue eyes, long brown hair, and just the most captivating smile you could ever think of. She was very quirky, a little bit mischievous, but she always had my back. And unfortunately, once she got caught, I tried to save her and break her out from this facility. And unfortunately, it did not go well. She was, she lost her life. And in the scuff that transpired, I was cut across my face, resulting in this scar that I have above my eye. And it is a constant reminder that I failed to save her, and I live with that every day. When I found that, I guess this is how I ended up where I am now, because to save myself, I effectively got blackmailed into doing work for the government. And I've been pretty miserable ever since. But when I learned about the Technohaze, something changed. Something drew me to it.
How did your wife die?
When when I found out my wife had been captured and I went to save her, I broke into a high security facility and made my way down to this area where I thought she'd been kept. I used every skill that I had in my hacking repertoire to locate her. And I knew that, I knew that I'd be found out the moment I tried, but I was determined. So I went down and snuck past everybody that I could. And there she was, strapped into a chair, connected to something I'd never seen before. There was computers, servers, flashing lights. It was almost otherworldly. But what I did see was the fear in her eyes as she saw me. And at that point, the door had opened up and everybody, all these security and agents and everything just tackled me to the ground. And the last thing I remember is a flashing light and a scream from her, and then nothing. And once I'd been picked up by the agents and secured, there was her lifeless body slumped in the chair. And I was so angry, so enraged, that I took the only thing I had, the pocket knife, out of my multi-purpose screwdriver and tried to slash at everything and anyone that I could. Unfortunately, I dropped it. And someone had picked it up and basically retaliated with me with my own equipment and gave me this scar that I have as a reminder that she is no more.
You've stopped and you've stared at that little screen with her picture on it. And you are lost in that memory that you don't realize behind you the haze has started to form. And when you do sort of snap out of it and turn around, you see the Technohaze in form. The dust creating what it only can in a human form. You see the cables that running behind it like a spine, and you recognize the shape, the face shape. You recognize the body shape. You recognize the Technohaze as her.
As I turn around and I look at the Technohaze and what it is showing me, I step back with my back to the rack in shock, but also a mixture of sadness, but also confusion, because I don't know if this still doesn't feel real.
Roll me curious.
Fuck's sake.
Okay. Right, no, it's
Come
fine.
on.
Alright, the dice demand. So you are just taken aback from seeing her again. Thankfully, again, because I was curious, you get no other consequences, which is nice. That's fine. So you're just in total shock, seeing the silhouette of her. Like, the dust is doing its best to sort of create some kind of solid figure, but obviously dust can only do so much. I think we will go for another scene prompt.
Okay.
What could possibly go wrong? Okay, we have the tower. The creature knows you're investigating them to throw you off their trail. They destroy some of the work you have done. What do they do? Is anyone hurt? What do you learn from this experience? Every investigator loses 2 gifts. Not that they were going to work anyway, to be fair, 100%. And a card is removed from the meeting spread, so you can... Well, we're not there yet. We're not at the meat creep now, so that's good. You may reveal one of the likes and dislikes from the thing. So we will 1, 2, or 3. What would you like?
Let's go 3.
Okay. 5 of claws. As you stare at her, and she stares back, you start to hear banging at the entrance of the server farm, and you hear yelling. The agency and the agents that they've said have arrived. You've taken too long. The Technohaze hears it. The Technohaze screams. The Technohaze thinks that maybe you led them here. And it lunges forward towards you. However, as you brace to feel the impact of what electrified dust would feel like, you suddenly feel your arm, the side of your body getting hot as your laptop begins to overheat. In your pocket, you start to feel the same heat as your phone starts to overheat. And with a pop, both pieces of technology are no longer usable.
I take the laptop and phone and put them on the top of the cart, knowing that they're pretty much done and dusted now. I say to myself, I can't believe I took so long. Frustrating. Frustrated to myself. I look to where the dead server is in the rack, and I look down to my other pocket where my multi-purpose screwdriver sits, and then back up again. Got a job to do. And this is the only way I can save her. Let's hope it works. I rush to the cabinet and I slam the door open and pull out the server as it's on rails and try to remove it as quickly as possible using the multi-purpose screwdriver.
Roll deft. There are so many numbers that are above 5. We can do it. Okay, so you succeed in pulling the old server out just as the agents bust through the door, and you can hear them filing in through the alleys of the server farm, and they're doing it SWAT style. And you again start to hear the fizzle. You start to feel the fizzle that you felt when you first started. And you just feel that the Technohaze is agitated, and you can feel that it's scared.
As I begin to feel the electrified air in the room again, I can sense that there is an issue. That the Technohaze is definitely scared. I try to speak as quietly as I can as to not alert the agents that are coming into the room. You have to believe me. I am legitimately trying to save you here. Help me in any way you can to buy me some time, and I'll get you out of here.
Roll charming.
Nope, that one. Not me actually crossing my fingers right now.
Oh, also you get one of these, by the way.
Oh.
Which is a Queen of Claws, because you succeed in deft.
Excellent.
Alright, now we're getting the real numbers.
Finally.
Okay. As you whisper this silent prayer into the room, hoping that the Technohaze can hear you, suddenly you hear a crash, and then another one, as the domino effect of server shelves fall into each other. You can hear the agents who are caught in the alleyways of the collapsing server rack scream, and then those who aren't affected, some of them go running towards them to help them, but there are still some that are still casing the place. They sound far away though. They don't sound near to you. So what are you going to try and what are you doing with this server that you've pulled out? What's the idea that you've got?
The idea that I have, and this is based on when the servers initially died, there was pain. So I feel that there is a connection here between what's in this room and the Technohaze. So I proceed to slide the server in as quickly as possible and connect it up and power it up in hopes that there is a chance that potentially the Technohaze can be stored and transported away inside the hard drives that are in this server.
Okay. So you put the new server in, is that correct?
Yes.
So is the plan to have the Technohaze put itself in the new server, or are you hoping you'll put it into the old server and you could take it away?
Into the old server.
Okay. How are you going to coax it to do that? If you're struggling, I can do another scene prompt.
Yeah, I'm running out of stuff to think.
It's okay. It's alright. It's alright. Let's see what the cards have for us.
Great. Dun, 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 dun.
It's death.
Fuck, I just read it too. God. All right, let's go.
Okay. The creature destroys something or destroys someone or something meaningful to you. Who is it? What is it? Does this change how you feel about the creature? Do you accept this act of destruction as part of who they are? And if you've previously drawn the Chariot, which we have, it might be someone you previously worked with. Alright. Roll me curious. You love fives, man.
This dice loves fives.
So 5 is a fail in curious. Nothing happens, which is fine. So you don't find you're unsure on what to do. It's very confusing. And the agents start to move in. One spots you from a few server racks down. He goes, "Get on your knees! Put that server down!" And he has a gun and he's pointing it at you.
Yeah, I figured. I sigh. I slowly make my way down onto my knees.
Agent sort of like does that weird like side-steppy walk that they do when they're holding guns towards you. And he's like, "Identify yourself." I said identify yourself.
My name is Alexander Harrison. I'm a contractor. I fix servers. It's what I'm here to do.
And he like grabs his intercom and he's like, "I found him. What do you want me to do with him?" And then a few other agents sort of come trotting up as well. You're the one that's supposed to be collecting the asset, correct? Where is it?
It has been eluding me.
Where is it? Is it here?
It was here for a while, but I have yet to see it recently.
Roll charming. as a deception roll.
Fuck. How did he get out of this mess? Like that. Finally!
Nice. Okay. Well, so you're saying that it's moved on. It's not here anymore.
Correct. I haven't been able to detect it in any way, shape, or form in the last hour or so.
But it was here, right?
I suspected it was here, but it is no longer here. I can't find it.
All right. And the agents nod to each other. And they go, all right, boys, pack it up. Let's go. Creature's not here. And one of them goes to reach for you, to grab you. Take Harrison with us. I'm sure the bosses would like to have a word about what took him so long down here, if the creature wasn't here. So do you go willingly? What are you going to do in this situation? Are you going to try and stay behind? Are you going to go with them? Are you going to... What's the plan?
Let me stay back and finish the job that I'm supposed to do. We don't want the client to suspect any foul play down here.
The agent kind of stops and looks to his peers and nods and goes, you're right. All right, we'll be waiting outside for you. How long is this going to take?
Give me 30 minutes.
All right, you heard the nerd. 30 minutes. Let's go outside, boys. And they all file out. Would you like another scene? Last scene?
This will be the last one, I think. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so. The Emperor. What else could possibly go wrong? So, the agents file out except for one. And he's like, I'm going to stay here. And, keep an eye out. If the creature was here, it might be around. It might still be hiding.
Yeah, I'll stand up. Look over to this other agent.
On his name tag, it says his name is Jared.
Jared.
He goes, hey man, like I've heard about this thing. It's, pretty crazy, right? Like, sentient tech. I heard they made this, you know. I've heard stories about how they, you know, that these creatures are actually like man-made. Like from experimentation. Isn't that crazy?
Oh. Yeah, imagine having something like that in our lifetime. Like, that's insane.
Yeah. I mean, some of the guys they were talking about some kind of experimentation of melding humans with machines, and it's like so very Terminator. Ooh, look out for Skynet.
Yeah, tell me about it. As my eye, which my scar sits below, twitches slightly.
Yeah, it's who knows, man? It could be alien. It could be anything. Can't imagine. But like, between you and me, mate, I've seen some of the experimentation they've done down there. I've seen them vaporize people into just thin air, and then all that remains is a dust cloud and electricity all around it, like, you know, it's crazy. I don't know what they use it for, but apparently they get criminals, and they experiment on them to get them into that state, and like this Technohaze one is one that escaped.
Alright, well, I'm gonna obviously start slowly restoring this server anyway, just to make it look like I'm doing something.
Because there was this one that I was on, right? And they brought some Sheila in, some chick. Said she was a great hacker or something. Women in tech, man. And then they strapped her to this chair. And apparently they were gonna like attach all the machines to her and like vaporize her consciousness into a creature. One of these things that they were working on. And I heard that apparently some guy, her husband or something, some kind of white knight, came in to try and save her. What I would have done to be there, to see the look on his face as he watched her vaporize into nothing.
Yeah. It would have been something pretty crazy, huh? As I grip the multi-purpose screwdriver in my hand now, ever so slightly tighter.
I mean, what a pussy, eh? Like, firstly, you let your girl get captured. Like, who does that? And then, what? Go in there into a government facility thinking you're gonna be able to walk away. What an idiot. They reckon that this Technohaze is that Sheila too. Can you imagine not being able to contain a female entity? This guy's not a good guy. He's a very dude bro guy.
I definitely feel the anger just coursing through my body right now. But I also need to consider what to do.
I'll just say he goes on like that. Like, just does not stop talking.
Doesn't stop talking shit, yeah.
Just talks more and more shit.
Oh, and how far is this agent from me?
He's just like, he'd be like standing next to you, like with his back against the rack and like, you know, yeah. He's pretty at ease.
So yeah, anger is building up throughout my body. My right arm slightly tensing up. That has my multi-purpose screwdriver in hand. I press a button that is kind of indented in the side of it. And two little prongs come out from the top. And I turn myself around as quickly as I can and press the prongs against the agent. In hopes that the tase function still works.
Okay, where do you stab him with the prongs?
Let's try for the neck area.
All right, deft away. You jam that taser into this guy's neck, and he doesn't even have a moment to react before the electricity takes hold and you start to smell bacon. And he falls over unconscious. Now, we enter the meat creep. You have a kiss me, kill me score. A scale, should I say. What have you in those, if any, at the moment?
+1 to kill, nothing to kiss.
Okay. In this section of the game, I will draw a card from this deck, and you will need to roll higher well, you have to roll higher than it, basically. If you roll lower, you get a score on the kill me. If you roll higher, you get a kiss me. You do have, unfortunately, a Queen of Claws, which unfortunately you won't be able to use against the claws here, because that's 5, and this is basically like 12. So, unfortunately, your gifts will not be received. Alright. You use your skills as before. You can choose which ones to use. You can't use deft now, because that will be... We've just used it. So let's see see what happens. So as the man falls down, unconscious, the Technohaze appears behind you again. In the same form, her human form. And she's looking to you for direction and assurance. The action you just took gives her confidence to know that you want to help her, but she is still cautious. You still work for them. So, we have a 3 of claws. What are you going to do to try and just reassure them that you're trying to help them? I have some suggestions.
Please.
You can roll curious to ask the Technohaze if it's really her. You can use charming to tell it your plan and how you're going to smuggle it out. Which one would you like to do?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try. I wish my curious stat was higher.
Also a -1 in play because of your kill me score. I mean, roll the dice. See what happens.
Let's try. Let's
All
try.
right.
All right, let's roll it. 1d6, please. Come on.
Okay, so you ask if it's really her, and the haze seems to shift, almost offended that you had to ask, even though it showed you evidence that it was who she says she is. And she's a little upset you haven't called her by her name either. That's a little bit upsetting. So you need to add +1 to your kill me score.
Yep, got it.
You have 5 of castles next. You have deft and you have charming to use. I, in this instance, honestly would kind of maybe recommend charming, because you now need to acknowledge.
Yeah, let's go with charming.
What do you say to her?
Samantha, I never thought I'd be able to see you again. The months and months of torment and regret of not being a better person to try and save you. It just it eats me up every minute, every second of the day. When I saw you there, as always surrounded by agents, it's just, I felt hopeless and alone, and I never thought I'd see you again. I'm scared, and I am really here to save you. After I found out that you might still exist in some fashion, I had to come, and I had to get deep undercover, whether it was by choice or not, just to be able to know that you were real and still, and I don't want to lose you again. So I want to save you by any means necessary. And I hope that what I want to propose works, and I can get you out of here so that we can be together again. The only solution that I can even come up with is for you to somehow jump to this machine here, or even just the drives inside to store you somehow, where I could try and smuggle you past everybody. Because I don't think rolling a server out of the building is going to help. So I figured if I can just get you on a hard drive somewhere and take you far away and get you out some other way, and I don't know, just somewhere that isn't here. Somewhere where you can't be found and used.
Roll your charming, but at a -2. We kind of knew that was going to happen, didn't we?
Yeah.
The Technohaze looks at you, and from the expression you can gather, it too looks sad. It too looks somewhat defeated. And as she comes towards you, she puts a hand on your face, brushing the scar just above your eye. And you feel your face start to burn. Goes through your ears, up your nose. But the look on her face isn't one of anger. It's not one of hate. It's a mercy killing. Because she knows that whether you were able to take her out of there or not, there would be nowhere for her to be. There would be no place that you would be hunted down. And she was so happy to see you again. It's hard to tell how that's being conveyed to you. Do you have any other thoughts before it all goes black?
As I feel the heat coursing through my body, I know my face, but I smile one last time because I knew I got to see her one more. Thank you for tuning in to the Cryptid Chronicles as part of the 2024 Does TTRPG Halloween special. A huge shout out to TadhgtheBard, the brilliant mind behind OK Cryptid. Be sure to check them out on Twitter. If you enjoyed this episode and want more, don't forget to follow Does TTRPG wherever you listen to podcasts. You can also follow the Cool Cids Club on Twitter at Cool Cids Club. That's COOLCIDSCLUB for all the latest updates on upcoming episodes. And of course, if you want to help us grow, please like, rate, comment, save, and share this podcast with your friends. We appreciate your support. Until next time, stay curious, stay spooky, and keep exploring the unknown.